Hello, my name is Haru Ji, and I'm an assistant professor at OCAD University in the program of Integrated Media and Digital Features.
And I'm Graham Wakefield. I'm also an assistant professor. I'm at York University, where I'm in the Alice Research Lab. And we are both co-founders of a project called Artificial Nature. And what we'd like to do today is present some ongoing developments of artificial nature, of infusing environmental spaces with near-living behavior through 4 of our recent works, including conservation of shadows, Infronet, in habitat, and in superposition. And we're focusing on the use of mixed reality as a method of shared physicality in hybrid space between human and non-human beings. We're outlining network complexity, artificial intelligence, artificial evolution, and how they can infuse a shared physicality with complex, playful, and open-ended behavior.
The last LASG Symposium gave us a challenge and a goal, and our work is evolving to respond to it. Especially, I asked Philip's kind understanding about using his image without permission. And then here. So our question is that how this physical alien forest and then virtual alien forest could coexist in the shared physical space.
So for the first work, we'll talk about conservation of shadows. This was a site-specific interactive mixed reality installation artwork involving over 100 motor-actuated bells, projections on a 4x6 meter bed of salt, and a dual motion-tracked virtual reality perspective inhabited by artificial life organisms integrating real-time volume capture. And this work responded to a very specific history of the host venue, which is the former Center for Disease Control and Reagent Storage in Korea. Now, we've been using virtual reality for a while, and it's a little problematic in the museum setting. It can be viewed practically anywhere, and wherever it is, it can present being somewhere completely different. So there's a question of what ties a work to a specific place. Of an exhibition in particular? How can it avoid the inherent sense of disconnection? So rather than using virtuality to present escapism to independent worlds, through mixed reality, we're proposing it can be connecting deeply to a specific place, ontologically rooted in site-specific grounds, perhaps revealing expansive possibilities within what is already physically present, not only in being there, but in being there.
The heart of the piece is the physicality of shadows as a liminal bridge, suspended between superposed physical and virtual space in both mathematical and mythological senses. By donning a head-mounted display, the visitors take an alternative perspective to witness another world coexisting in superposition with our own. What first appeared as flat shadows are unveiled to be the membranes of comprehensible beings moving around and through our now shadowy bodies and shaped by our movements and gestures. The floor of the room is laden with a carpet of salt. Visitors feel the grains shifting and audibly crunching underfoot with each step as they progress further into the environment. Motor-actuated miniature bells surrounded the installation space, hanging down from the rafters at different locations and heights, varying in intensity, and then creating a variegated spatial sonic experience whenever virtual species pass by. So,
in a living environment that is increasingly saturated with computational agency, which is also becoming more visually and spatially aware, and in which there's no longer a clear divide between the perceptions of the body and the spirit, our response is to give life to mixed reality as a way to explore how we can coexist with digital beings in ways that are mutually more abundantly curious, playful, and meaningfully rewarding.
This is Infronet Gwangju, a prototype work in the infectiousness of intelligence. This was a site-specific work for the Gwangju Media Art Festival last fall. We used a variety of geospatial data of Gwangju City, focusing on regions and particular pathways of flow, water, electricity, transit, and extra.
So here's a video of the piece. Here you can find some of the more complex agent interactions that are happening. There are several thousand agents in the system. They're exploring the underlying data set and trying to discover major pathways in the space. There we go. You can maybe see, now we're zoomed in a little bit, you can see how they're spreading their information between each other as they cluster through the space. What they're actually spreading is information and ideas. We used a neuroevolution of augmenting topologies technique to evolve small artificial neural networks for each of these agents, but more like bacterial species, they're sharing their genomes between each other by communicating nearby. So they're changing their genomes and they're changing their neural structure continuously.
Finally, we will briefly talk about the closely related works in Habitat, which was exhibited at the Children's Science Museum and in superposition at the Daejeon Biennale, next door to Philip's work. And then all four works were after the last LASG Symposium.
So the key idea in these works was to present a world through multiple mediating technologies with different senses of scale, of time, and of agency. Three ways to see with different eyes. So at the first scale, we're projection mapping onto a malleable island structure that's covered in sand, providing a super-personal perspective over an entire ecology of life. By putting on a VR head-mounted display, visitors enter this world in a first-person experience, but shrunk to 25 times smaller. Oh, what happened? It froze. While you're in the macro perspective, the moving creatures seem to be the size of insects, but once you're in VR, they're standing taller than we are and moving faster than we do. And the wall projections present a perspective from individual organisms, whether motile agents or in the case of in superposition, the longer time-extended umvelt of lichen at the bottom of the food chain. Yeah. Again, the shadows are the bridge between the shared realities. Above the sculptures, your shadows have an ontological impact within the simulation. They're eradicating the lichen underneath. And from within VR, your shadows appear to be these 30-meter giants in the distant sky of the world, sometimes reaching over and down to the land surrounding you. You're literally a force of darkness, but also a force of rebirth as the land recovers with great fertility. And we use these multiplicities as different ways to see with other eyes and act with other bodies because we think it's really essential to be able to understand the other. We live in what we think of as an all-too-human time. But it's not enough to see through another's eyes. We need to engage with each other.
So a question stays in our minds. How would one communicate with an alien? Our closest examples are young children and animals. Children by nature are more ready explorers of stranger words, especially of words before language. Where words are yet lacking, participatory play becomes more vibrant.
We all learn through play. Like art, play makes use of any medium at hand, using multiple media. Like life, play makes rules and breaks rules to keep itself going. Nothing is outside the play for long. So our invitation is to become part of a world in superposition to ours that is rich in living feedback networks, but with us not as the central subject. Therefore, it's not only for our playfulness that's important, but also their playfulness is central. So we're looking forward to finding out how near living systems will play with us.
So with a special thanks to Mark David Hossel and then York University students to help us for the microcontroller network for conservation of shadows. And also thank you very much for the LSAG Symposium for inspiring work and discussion. And then we need to excuse ourselves for tomorrow because we have the public exhibition and an artist talk at Open Sidewalk Winter Warmer at the Open Sidewalk Winter Warmer exhibition, and then so that we might not be here, but we really want to be here.
You're in spirit.
So we'll be in the spirit, and then just a little advertisement that if you want to see our work, then on the 3rd, on Sunday, after the end of the symposium, we can have like informal visit to the Open Sidewalk. So
Thank you.
Thank you.